Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video where I am gonna get ready and I'm just gonna talk about why did we all, not me, I feel like I'm not catching what everybody else has caught, like it's contagious but I didn't catch it yet. But why are we all falling out of love with makeup? What happened? I want to talk about it. Like, I feel like I missed the memo. I feel like everybody's talking about how like nobody likes makeup anymore and I'm just like, I didn't get the memo. When did we stop loving makeup? So I am actually getting ready. I'm eating breakfast. This is yogurt and strawberries and cinnamon. And if you're asking me, wow, that's a lot of cinnamon, that would be correct. I do love me some cinnamon. Also, why is your yogurt so, I was gonna say stiff, don't demonetize me, but why is it so firm in the US? And why does all your yogurt have sugar in it? But like, this is like pudding. And a European watching this are probably like, that's like cooking yogurt. Yeah, it has a very pudding-like consistency here. I'm not really understanding. I have been I keep talking about this all the time and I'm so boring, so I'm gonna like just quickly talk about it and then let's move on because like it's just too much. But I have been so stressed, overworked as of late that I just really needed today to sit down and just apply makeup that I've been enjoying as of late, not stress too much about everything. And I just want to chat about like my love of makeup and what I think is like going on in the community and like the way that people have been talking about makeup as of late. I am still reviewing this Huda Beauty foundation. I used it yesterday and I thought it was a little, like it's thick. And I think the shade is a pretty good match to my shoulders because I always get more tan on my body than I do in my face because I'm usually wearing a hat and like reading and stuff, and also like SPF, I feel like I wear it more regularly on my face than I do like all over my body, so that's probably why. I remember when I was, I want to say 13, 14, because I started, like I didn't start wearing makeup every day, which I still don't. I never have been the person like to put on makeup every day, like, oh, I need to put makeup on to go to work, or I need to put makeup on to go to school or to go. I've never had a problem with me, with my face, so to speak, without makeup. I've never thought that like I needed makeup to feel presentable and to feel like I can go out into the world. I've in all ages felt very comfortable going out without makeup and showing my face without makeup, and I feel that that has also helped with me and with keeping my love for makeup because it's never been a must for me. It's never been part of my everyday routine. It's always been something that I do for extra. I don't know how I feel about this foundation. I think it's a little thick. She's thick. She's like thick. Like it's thick. But when I was like 13, 14, I did have some, I want to call it play makeup because that's how I used it, but I don't necessarily think that it was, I don't think it was makeup intended for play. I think it was makeup that my mom basically gave me, oh, here's a concealer, that my mom basically gave me to play with because it was like things that she wasn't using. Because I vividly remember having like an eyeshadow palette. And it was a palette because it had like 6 or 7 or 8 shades, if I'm not totally mistaken. And it was purple. And I remember this one vividly because I remember I brought it when I was gonna hang out with my cousin. My cousin lived in another part of the country when I was younger and we were BFFs. We actually grew up a time together. It's hard to explain that without explaining my absolutely weird family relations on my father's side of the family and how troubled that was when I was growing up. But yeah, we were best friends and we grew up for a couple of years together, and she was coming to visit the town where I was living during the summer, and I vividly remember bringing this eyeshadow palette with the purples and giving her a makeover. And I gave her this super purpley eye, and I remember at the time, and now probably if I saw it I would be like, but I remember at the time we both looked at the finished look and went, ooh, like it was, we thought it was so fierce. We were like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. This is so pretty. This is so beautiful. And of course, had you shown me it today, I probably would have been like, nice try. I see what you did there. But just the fact that we both were so amazed with like how cool this looked and how fun it was. And I remember that even though we felt that way, we still took the makeup off and like went out to do whatever we were doing at that age, because I was still like, I was a kid for a long time. I was not the one that was like hurrying to grow up. I definitely was enjoying being a kid, and now looking back at it, I'm very happy I did, because I look back at that time fondly, at like all the fun I had. That's also a totally different discussion. But I do remember like experimenting with makeup. I remember layering different things in my mom's like makeup bag, and like what happens if you put a gloss on this, and what happens if you mix this blush with that, and what happens if you use this as a blush or this as a lipstick, and like all these different things. And I remember using a blush both on my eyes and on my cheeks and on my lips, and I just, listen, this is monochromatic before Colourpop's monochromatic craze. And I remember just having so much fun with it, but not necessarily wearing it. And I think that when I discovered the makeup community, people always ask me, I get asked to do this video so much. What would your makeup collection look like if you weren't on YouTube? And I don't think that people remember exactly like why I found the makeup community. I think I'm gonna use a brush instead. Why I found the makeup community and like why I liked it so much here. And it's not because I was like, oh my God, this is a new hobby for me. It was that I finally found a place that had people that loved makeup the way that I love makeup. Because my makeup collection before I started YouTube, it was already way bigger than most people would ever have. I had a vanity filled with makeup before I even knew about this community, before I even knew that people had these big collections, before I even knew that people made a living doing YouTube, before I even knew that people were doing tutorials, and like I still had so much makeup. And every time, you know, your friends were getting ready, they would always ask me, why don't you bring some makeup? Because they knew I had so much. They knew I had so much to choose from. And every time somebody needed something special, I firmly remember a friend borrowing this green eyeshadow from me, actually from Too Faced. I bought this Kermit green eyeshadow from Too Faced, and she forgot to return it to me, and later she was like, oh my God, I just used this eyeshadow again. And then I remembered that, oh my God, I borrowed this from you and I never gave back. And I was like, if you've been enjoying it, keep it. And I was the person that had that much makeup. So when I joined the beauty community on YouTube, when I started doing videos, it was not because I was like, oh my God, makeup could be a new hobby, and I all of a sudden was buying so much makeup. No, I was already buying a lot of makeup. I was already the person that was always in stores looking for what's new. What's new in the beauty aisles? What new things have people been releasing? I was the person that was always looking at those, you know, the end caps with the new things. I was always looking at those, always asking the people in stores, like, what's new? What's like just arrived? I would love to see it. I would love to try it. And I was always buying those limited edition makeup collections by Isadora, the Swedish brand that I think is available in the US as well. At least they were for a bit. They have really, really nice makeup. I haven't tried anything for a bit because I have never seen them in store here in the US. But I had a big makeup collection before I joined YouTube. And the reason why I joined YouTube was because I didn't feel like I had anyone in my everyday to-day life. Like in my real life, none of my friends were as interested in makeup as I was. I was also freelancing as a makeup artist. I didn't have anyone to talk about makeup with. And when I saw people just chatting about makeup and the comments that they were getting and the community that they was building, and also like I saw different YouTubers be friends with each other, I was thinking, this could be me. I could be this person. I could get friends online, and I could also start to chat with people about my love for makeup. And of course, I started buying even more makeup because I discovered so many brands. I discovered indie brands, like I started buying. And this is when I started buying indie brands, and some of these indie brands I still use. Like I was buying Juvia's Place when they released, I think, their second palette. I don't even remember, but I bought it on a pre-sale, and I was buying JD Glow and Luxie and Divina, and I still have both Luxie and Divina in my collection. I don't have any JD Glow because actually all of my JD Glow went bad, and it's also one of the reasons why I actually don't buy a lot of handmade makeup anymore, because I've had some bad experiences with things going bad and with things like breaking. And I prefer indie makeup over like things you find at Sephora and Ulta, with exception of like, you know, foundations, concealers and stuff like that. But like, for instance, this is Nikea Joy powder. Like this is the best powder, like loose powder in my collection, and it is from an indie brand. So I definitely, if I can do it indie, I will, but some things are easier to find outside of the indie sphere than not. But when it comes to like handmade stuff, I haven't always had the best luck, and that's why I'm trying to steer not clear of it, but I'm trying to be a little bit more cautious of like who I'm trying and like who I'm letting into my collection, also because I have such a big collection at this point. But I'm not saying this for people to be like, oh my god, look at her justifying how much makeup she has. No, this is me talking about why my love for makeup hasn't died off, maybe the same way as for some other YouTubers, or maybe the same way as for some viewers, because I hear a lot of people saying that their love for makeup, it got almost sparked with seeing people loving makeup online. But for me, this was just an outlet for my love for makeup. And I'm thinking that maybe if your like love for makeup was not because of seeing the abundance of it online or because everybody else was so excited about it online, I can guess it's like easier to fall out of love with it. Maybe, I don't know. I would love to hear about it, because I feel now there's still a lot of people loving makeup. And if you're watching this and thinking like, what are you talking about? I still love makeup. I'm with you. You and me both. But I have seen quite a lot of people saying that they're not as excited with makeup anymore. I see some YouTubers go from makeup to more commentary, and I don't love that, because like first and foremost, I love makeup. I want to talk about the makeup. I don't want to talk about the brands. I don't want to talk about the drama. I'm not even interested in like necessarily, unless I need to hear it. I'm not necessarily interested in it either. I just want to talk about the makeup. And I'm wondering like how long you have been in love with makeup before you found the bustling of the makeup community, because things really do go fast here. I'm gonna use this new ColourPop blush. I mean, things go really fast here, so maybe it gets a little intense and then you like fall out of love with it. This is not as creamy as it was the first. Oh, it's almost like it dries on the surface. Okay, so this one does dry down, but it's almost like when I touched the surface, it almost felt dry. That is very sheer. I don't know about this one. If you're looking for something that's very sheer, maybe, but it's also picking up. I don't know. Are people loving these? Are people loving these? Am I the problem? Am I the problem? Am I the one, I'm gonna use a brush instead. Am I the one not getting the hype of these? I like it a little bit better with a brush. But I feel like it's a little patchy. And it's so sheer that I'm like, what is the... I don't know if I liked how this looked. I just feel like it blends into the foundation and I feel like it picks up weirdly. I don't think I love that at all, actually. I don't love it. I am going to be using also this new highlighter from Lottie London that they sent to me. What if I hate my face makeup? I'm actually filming like a new... Oh, this has a big poof and one of those like twisty packagings. I like that. I'm filming a new makeup releases after this. Like, what if I hate this? Is that like air in it? That looks nice. Let me see if I can blend this over. That is not very... This is like that Makeup Revolution highlighter again. Just dries down too quickly. At least it looks better. You just have to blend this quickly. Blend it immediately after you poof it on. It's not super blinding, but it's definitely enough. And it was enough to cover that part of the blush that I didn't love. But I definitely think that this one dries way too quickly to be in a poof like this, because you cannot poof it all over your face and think that you're going to be blending afterwards. You are going to regret that quickly. But I mean, I think it looks okay. It looks okay. Let's just put it like that. Let me fix my brows and we can, I don't know, do something. Okay, this isn't the fave. I much prefer other drugstore alternatives to this product over this one. Okay, so this video was a couple of fails. It is what it is. Actually, before I do my brows, I'm gonna apply a liquid lipstick. This is that new one in Eva. Well, new one to me, from Natasha Denona. I wanted to try the formula. It's really nice, like almost pinky cherry red. It looks a little bit more warmer on camera than it does in real life. I'm just gonna like use my freckle pen over the low beauty marks I have, and also I have a couple of, I don't want to call it breakouts because I don't really think that it's that, but it's definitely some spots, and I'm just trying to, I don't know what I'm trying. I just didn't appreciate it looking, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna be using this one because I really want to try this one, and now that I'm like, oh, I have red lips on, is that gonna work? I guess we will see. I'm gonna be using this one and then this one all over the lid, and I'm thinking maybe an eyeliner because I've been thinking about those shades that I want to use them together. It's me marrying a half Italian that I want to use them together, and now I think I'm gonna do that. So this isn't me being like, oh my god, I'm so much better than everyone else because I'm still loving makeup and it's so authentic. Like, this isn't that. This is just me being fascinated by hearing so many people online, and not just, I don't want to say like, not just like people that I don't know, but also people that I know. Oh my god, that is light now that I'm tan, but it will work itself out. They are saying like they have changed their makeup style. They don't like as much makeup anymore. I even saw some people saying like, I don't even love doing eyeshadow anymore. And I'm just wondering, how come I did not? I don't know. Is it because I loved like colorful makeup before I came to YouTube? that like eyeshadow was my favorite product before YouTube as well. Could that be a reason? I'm trying to not use it all the way to the brow because it's gonna be too much. And I'm also thinking, because right now, I mean, the trend of makeup, especially on like TikTok, is definitely like the softer, like skin skin and like neutral makeup, and like more not eyeshadow focused at all. And I'm wondering, could it also be that I am not on TikTok, so I am not getting, because I'm not really scrolling on TikTok, and when I'm scrolling on TikTok, I'm not watching makeup content. Could it be that since I'm not getting influenced by the makeup trends on TikTok because I'm not watching them, could it be that that's the reason why my makeup style stayed the same, because I'm not getting influenced by this new makeup aesthetic that's coming in? Because I don't want that style for me. Like, I'm not interested in that. I think it's cute on others, but it doesn't bring me joy. And again, I don't wear makeup to look pretty. I don't wear makeup to look presentable. So I also don't really care if there is, because I realized that there is so much makeup that I could be doing that would make me more attractive according to the norm. I'm realizing this Ursula makeup isn't it. I am fully aware. Trust me, I am not oblivious to the fact that to be more attractive according to the norm, I definitely should be doing other kind of makeup looks. But I don't care. I don't really care. It doesn't make me happy, and I don't want to do that kind of a makeup. I think I'm gonna do this under here. But I wonder if I was like watching more stuff like that, if I would be more enticed to like just do that makeup, if I would like also fall out of love with makeup. Or maybe I also think that like, I mean, economics and stuff like that also plays a part in like falling or like snapping out of it. Like not falling out of love with something, but like snapping out of it. Because if you have like overspent on a hobby and you realize that your hobby is costing you more money monetarily than it's actually bringing you joy, maybe it would be easier to like snap out of it and be like, wait, this, I'm just buying for the sake of buying. Because I do think, and I've said this a lot, there seems to be quite a lot of people in the makeup community that love buying makeup more than they love wearing makeup. And I have realized that this is something that I've actually talked about with my friends as of late. I've realized that I have fallen out of love with shopping. I don't like going to like a mall and just finding new stores and finding new finds. I really like, you know, researching that perfect thing and then going to a department store or going to the mall or going to whatever store and just seeing it in real life and then buying it then and there. I really do like that. But if I go out shopping, it's only because I want to go to specific places. I want to go to this store, I want to go to this store, I want to go to this store, but I don't want to, like, I never feel like the need to like go out and discover like a store that I've never been to. It's just not what I'm into anymore, and I've realized that that is something that has changed with time. I just don't really enjoy that for me. And I'm thinking that maybe some people realized that what they really liked about makeup was not the act of wearing the makeup, it was the act of buying the makeup. And I'm guessing that also it could be a lot easier to snap out of it if it's more a shopping and collecting passion than it is a using and enjoying passion. Because I guess there is a lot of people that bought a lot of makeup that they're not that they're not using, which I mean is perfectly fine. It happens to the best of us. I definitely have things that I have bought in other passions, not necessarily maybe makeup, that I have bought and then realized that it was more the act of buying it that was interesting and not necessarily the act of using it. Oh my god, I'm getting fallout. I think I put too much on my brush. Me. But yeah, I don't know. You're gonna have to let me know. For me, if I could just sit down and use makeup, that would be amazing. I will say though that what people are really interested in on social media right now is not necessarily seeing people use makeup as much as it is to see people talk about makeup, and maybe even more honestly, to see people talk about the brands and talk about, like, I don't know, the people behind the brands and stuff like that. And I think it's like it comes and goes in waves, I guess. And I also think that sometimes we need to like validate to ourselves that, like, oh, this is why I stopped buying so much makeup, because I just think it maybe comes and goes in waves, and I think that's perfectly fine, honestly. I think that whatever you're interested in watching should be the thing that you're interested, like, that you're watching, because life is short. And even though YouTube is free, time is also money, and don't spend your time, like your currency of time, looking at things or just getting into stuff online that you are not as interested in. Let me see. Do I want to do... I want to do like a dark... I want to say blue and mascara. Let me go get an eyeliner for this. I'm gonna use this one. It's the Cobalt Matte by House Labs. And I think I'm gonna put it mainly on my lower lash line. Oh, wait, is this dried up? Hello? I just had to warm it up a little bit before. So I'm gonna do... I think I'm gonna reapply some of this shadow and blend this out. I wanna do like a wing, but I want to bring out the wing from the lower lash line. I do think that this one is a little bit dried out. That is a shame. I want to have it a little bit like this, and I think I'm gonna use a little bit of this pastel shade just to blend underneath. Does that look crazy? A little bit, and I don't understand why this one turned so dry. And now I started with this one. I can't just switch to another one, but like, why on earth are you so dry? Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this eye pen being like this, but at least I'm doing something, right? Okay, so I did sharpen this up with a little bit of liquid liner just to like get it to be something. I will say I'm not loving this right now, but I think it's the blue eyeliner that just messed everything up. Shame on you, House Labs. Oh my god, I took such a long break. Petting my dogs, organizing my room, not filming an outro, that's for sure. I don't even know what I was talking about. I do enjoy how the look turned out eventually, even though I will say I don't usually do like the bold lip and the bold eye, but I do love a classic like a blue eye with a red lip. It makes me think of like late 70s, almost disco era, and like it makes me think about that a little bit. I just enjoy playing with makeup, and I have heard so many people as of late talking about how they've been falling out of love with makeup and falling in love with other things, and I don't know, was it a fad? Was it like something that came and went? I don't know. Am I an island? I know I'm not the only one that still am, of course, very much in love with makeup. I still see people in the beauty community like posting a lot, talking about makeup. But when it comes to a lot of the bigger influencers, and when it comes even to people around the same size as me, just say that they have kind of like, they're not, I don't want to say as excited, but like maybe not as hyped for it anymore. So yeah, it's just an exciting journey to see. I will say. And I don't know if there's any like super huge makeup influencer at this point on YouTube. I'm not talking TikTok, I'm talking on YouTube, like that is like just doing makeup content and like really like thriving and enjoying it. Maybe Manny MUA. Other than that, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm clueless. Please let me know all about it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you again really soon with a new video all about makeup, per usual. Bye!